Politics, Madam President, that's everybody's favorite. I don't know why, but our country is becoming too political. The conversation is about 2017. It's starting so soon. You agree?
I'm concentrating on just carrying out my presidential duties right now.
But my president, we're going to talk about 2017 a little bit, though.
Okay, well, you can talk.
You're vice president. He's worked with you 2 terms, and of course, coming to the end of your term, he declared that he accepted a petition from the people of Louva County. I know in some way you have shown or expressed your intent to support him, but I just have to ask the question one more time. Where do you stand with your party and, of course, the vice president?
Look, let me be clear. It's more than hinting.
Okay.
Although there are many candidates who may make good presidents, but I say I'm supporting the vice president because I know that he's the most prepared, he's the most experienced, he's the one that's going to ensure continuity, building upon the progress we already have. Now, that's my commitment, and I believe in him. I've worked with Vice President Walker long before I became president and he became vice president.
Okay.
You know, we're working in NGO sector, you know, and there I learned to trust him and to respect him. I still do. And I said, despite who the opposition, the candidates, with all what they may have and all their attributes and whatnot, I say he's the best person.
And you're going to support him?
Absolutely.
And how far are you going to take that support, Madam President?
Wait now, what are you talking about?
I mean, you'll be in the trenches, in the slums, campaigning for him.
Of course.
Of course.
As the law provides.
Within the conference of the law. What do you see as his biggest ability that, encourage or influence your desire to support him?
His biggest... I didn't get that.
What do you think is his biggest leadership ability? What can he bring to the table in your mind?
Experience. And not just as vice president. Don't forget, he's told his story before, and it's a very impressive story. Someone who pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, you know, who worked in institutions, who taught, who served as consultants when he didn't have a job, who worked in the Ministry of Agriculture. And let me just say that I'm also biased because...
Why?
Because he worked with my husband. My husband
really
in the Ministry
him.
of Agriculture. So I told you I know him.
Okay, we'll see what 2017 brings. But my president...
Welcome, folks. Good evening, wherever you are watching us from. I know it's already morning time in Liberia, and those of you who are here in the U.S., it is evening time. But let's talk politics, and serious politics. My name is Sam Gadu. Welcome. I just felt compelled to come here to discuss what is emanating, what will be an effect, what will be something that could cause some sort of chaos in the electoral process coming up in Liberia. As you all may be aware already, next week, Tuesday, would be the runoff elections. And that's what I'm here to talk about, because the purpose for Talk TV Media is to sound the alarm. So those who are the stakeholders who are involved will be aware that we are watching what is going on. So welcome to the show. Welcome to this broadcast. Let me adjust my camera in a whole lot better way so you can see me better. So welcome to this broadcast. I said there's something that's going on around. There's a saying that elections are not hijacked. Elections fraud does not take place on the day of elections. It takes place before That's why I'm here tonight with informed, important information for the opposition party as well as NEC to be on the alert, to know that what's happening, what they are in cahoot with, that the world is watching. The people are watching. Talk TV media is watching. Because when the people shows up next week, Tuesday, at the polls to cast their votes, you don't deny them of that. But what do you think? What is the process that we'll be going through to deny them of those votes? The Election Commission is compromised. And that is why the biggest question tonight is, do you trust the National Election Commission in the upcoming electoral process in Liberia? Do you trust them? That is left with you. That's your answer. But based on the facts that I will be showing tonight here, you will be the judge, not me. Right? There's a lot that's going on. NEC has had backdoor meetings with officials and hierarchies of the government behind back doors and closed doors and secret places that some of us are fully aware of. They think that we don't have insiders, but we do. Plays and masterminds and ways of how they can steal this election. Democracy. Those of us who are champions for democracy, those of us who believe that your vote should count, will not sit by and allow corruption and allow cheating and allow fraud to take place. Nonetheless, we slept with the opposition party to employ all that they have to employ, everything, all the mechanisms they have in place. But because by the end of next week, when the results are being announced, we don't want to sit here and say, if I had known. We don't want them to have conferences if we had known. Right? We want to give them all the pieces and the nuggets, as in, this is what the ruling party is planning to do to rig the elections. Most of the election, the magistrates, if you all can record, just right before the election process could start, President George Manawia had gone to work and he replaced most of the magistrates, all the counties. That list is there. He did a lot of appointments where on that list, a lot of the election magistrates in the different counties were replaced. And Talk TV Media was here to sound the alarm that there is an undertone, there's a cover-up, there's an agenda for President Weah to replace the magistrates. And with that replacement, you will agree with me that those people don't want to lose their jobs or some sort of loyalty to the government if President Weah wins. Fast forward. We had the first runoff. They all came almost tied, 43%, 43%. Now, we are in a real runoff where 18 political parties have dropped off the list. Now we have 2. The Unity Party and all the collaborating and all those who are joining the train are on one bandwagon, and that of the ruling party, the CDC. We have seen enormous endorsements come into play, especially this week and the past week. in favor of the Unity Party. Even the unknown soldier, that someone that we call on the show the unknown soldier, the candidate, the standard bearer for the GDM, this grassroots development, Appleton, has joined the bandwagon. The message I am here to send tonight to the ruling party is, not everybody that in this train with you is in your favor. Not everyone that joins this bandwagon or this train is in your favor. So you must be wise. Because it's scriptural though. The Bible says, not all who say, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of God. So what am I saying? Not all who says, Joseph Barker, JMB, is in favor of JMB. Some of them, quote unquote, that are in this train, that have professed to be part of this train, are not really part of the train. Some of them could be planted within to disrupt, to destroy. It's all part of the politics. That's why I say, let's talk politics. Folks, one thing that is very significant that is happening right now in the corridors, that I am talking about the election commission being compromised, has to do with the ballot box, protecting the ballot box. You have realized, the opposition have realized their errors, what went wrong, right? But now it's even more than that. It's better than that. Because if they thought that what happened is what they are trying to repair or cover up with, it's worse than that, because CDC is well known, well prepared to go beyond that. So because they want to go beyond that, they are in cahoot with the National Election Commission. I always say that on this show. And if anybody wants to accuse me or think I have evidence to tell you, number one, the National Election Commission should not be an appointed agency. It should be an elected agency. That is the only way they will be free and fair. Without that, it's corruption, my people. It's corruption. Because if I appoint you, if I give you a job that you don't deserve, if I give you a job you're not qualified to, you owe me some sort of loyalty. That is what's happening with the National Election Commission, where Madam Deviator Brown Lessener is heading. Right? So based on that cloud that is hanging over them, she owes some sort of loyalty to the ruling party, and that is none other but George Manawia. So they have a leverage. Do you guys remember during the gun election that just passed, phase one of it, that even in the data center, someone who is a partisan of the CDC was working in the data center until he got exposed? That case is still ongoing. That is not something to play with. These elections are crucial. These elections, we already know the will of the people, where the populace, the majority, the masses are leaning. But I always tell people it is not easy to unseat a sitting government, because they will do, especially in Africa, they will do whatever it takes. Even if they want to corrupt the system, even at the detriment of the people, they will do it. Those of you who are watching and the opposition political parties, there's a caveat. Here are the polling stations. Those who want to go at the polling station, in fact, those who are supervising for NEC at the polling stations, those magistrates as well, they are now taking out the names of those opposition parties who are supposed to be poll workers for NEC. They are removing those names out of the list, and they are replacing those names with CDC, supporters, those who are working in the best interest of CDC. When they do that, guess what? Those are the only people that make the judgment calls. Those are people that can change the tally. That's what's happening. Listen to this. I'm here to just play. This is something I just got in. I'm going to play it for all of you to listen to it. This is happening in Nimba County. The same thing is happening in Lofa as we speak. And this is my evidence. This is where I talk about election fraud does not take place, but before the day of elections. The day before the day of elections is where the fraud takes place. Because people going to the ballot box, they're trying to make sure that everything, the training of those who are called NEC employees that are supposed to be in charge of the different polling stations, that final list is being compromised because those who will be in charge are giving what we call cateau. Your Liberian, y'all know, and journalists in Liberia know what they call cateau, brown envelope. Everybody got their lay piece. So because of that, they already compromise. So when they know that you on a unity party side or on the opposition side, they are not including your name on the NEC list. Even if you work in the previous, just in the elections, they are taking your name off the list and replacing that with someone who is working in the interest of CDC. I'm going to play this recording that just hit me. Listen to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just came from the bush, Honorable Flomo, because we are with him. We just came from the bush, from the district, from Roman County for United Party, because we touched United Party, they're going Saturday. Yeah, one of my friends just called me. He's working with NET. He's one of the key officials for NET.
Yeah.
He told me that CDC has sent 250 people in Nimba for Mosolaro to teach most of us are working with them. Now the intention is when they're checking the ballot paper after the voting, when they're checking the ballot paper.
You don't even have to explain that to me. So what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
How can we authenticate it?
I don't know, because what we'll do now is you just call Jerry. Maybe you just check it out. You get TikTok show what they are doing. These things have not happened before. We cannot change, POs from this place because the session to bomb, the session to
the people did the election. Why would you want to change them at this critical time?
Yeah, at this time, and then they are members. Yeah, there are members that the session to Tapeta and all to bomb to look for all the stronghold of United Party, and then they will wear the election.
You say how many people? I mean, VRO
250. 250 persons.
All right.
So the training will be on Saturday, maybe Friday, or somewhere, or Saturday. That is for PU and VRO. So the break, some foreign people, some of them in San Antonio now as we speak, they are sent some people in Tapeta. And then the next thing there is during the election time, they will wear certain clothes. All the physicians will wear certain clothes, or someone have clothes that they will identify one another. So when people enter the hall, they will go straight to the ballot people, in fact, let's say the identification officer, and then they will go straight to the PO because they will give them money. They will go to the ballot people teacher, the ballot people teacher will give them what? Two cards. Sometimes will be 3 or 4 ballot people to go mark. Yeah, so that's the whole plan that they have. And some of the person that be person, female, they say, I'm gonna call a list. But like what they have some currently some of them some of them on their way to tap it down.
All right.
So if they can share with Jerry, about call on the road right now to share with Jerry. If Jerry can flex it out, fine.
All right. Okay.
So no, within that, the person said I'm gonna call you tonight and tell you that what's going on right now.
Okay.
Because even the runner election we have had, they are not changed any of polling staff.
I'm coming to start it right now.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much for that info.
Okay, thank you.
Because what you're saying there, we depend on it, and I will make sure they even the recording, they will play it in our channel.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Election fraud. Election fraud doesn't take place on the day of elections. It takes place before. The mechanisms that are put into place. The mechanisms that are put into place before the day of elections. That is what's going to make the election transparent, free, and fair. But right now, everything is being played backdoor with the National Election Commission, all in favor of CDC, the Coalition for Democratic Change. And if the opposition is not on top of their game, far be ahead. Because this is what's happening. Opposition, let me tell you, because we at Talk TV Media Network, we're here to give everything out. If it is wrong, we're here to preach it. We're here to say it. I don't hold a stake into it. I'm not the one who's going to vote. It's you who will be deciding the future of Mama Liberia. That doesn't mean that I will sit here and have important information, significant, pertinent information like this and keep it. I have to make it public. We have to make it public. That is our job. People from the NEC and the magistrates in the counties, the last roster they have on their paper for those who were man and supervise the polling stations, they are replacing those names with seditions. That is what's happening. Why now, when those were the same people that worked earlier, the gun just ended elections, the first round of it. Why are you replacing them now? If that doesn't raise any red flags, then I don't know what will. That is why you heard from that recording. This thing is happening in the most populous counties where a huge number of the votes will be coming from, and that is Lofa County and Nimba County. That's what's happening. So, by the way of information, it's not even information, it's all out there on social media. Yesterday, tomorrow, to be more specific, Foya District, they just elected a representative of Foya District, Thomas Fowler, enter Foya with over 30 vehicles convoy, with well-armed of security men. I asked myself, and I ask you, what was that all about? Because that convoy was more than a presidential convoy. Was it in the interest of intimidating those who will be voting for Joseph Nyuma Boakai? Was it in the interest? What was the purpose behind? Is Liberia, is Foya District a war? We want to know. No. Foya is a peaceful district. A just elected representative who is campaigning for George Weah. There's nothing wrong campaigning for George Weah. Whoever wins, that person will be our president. But the presence, the way you show up with military men with guns all around you as though you are the president, as though the district is a war, that image is an image that creates insecurity. folks, I must speak. We must speak against that, towards that. That's the fact. When I saw that yesterday, it reminds me when I was in Foya when Ulimoke hit. When Charles Taylor entered Lofa during the days of war. That's what happened. When I saw the newly elected Foya district representative, you're not even a senator, it's just a representative. And I was the number one person that said congratulations on his platform. Because if you are elected, you go through the ballot box and you are elected by the people. Yes, we must give you kudos to you. Congratulations. We accept you. But don't intimidate our people. Don't create fear. Don't create the environment of fear into our people. Don't remind of us of the days of war. No. When we see what we saw, your entry with military, with guns all around, and you are not a threat to society, and you are one of the son of the district, but your entry is scary and is creating fear, it reminds us of the days of war. When you should be the one preaching peace right now, after we have had 2 people that died in Foya. You should be working in the realm, in the direction of reconciliation right now, instead of further dividing Foya district. That's my brother. I will speak to my brother. He's my brother. He's just my brother from another mother. But we are here at Talk TV Media Network to speak the truth. To speak truth to power. That's it, folks. You go on Talk TV Media and watch that video. The entry, and if you watch the full video, you will see what we're talking about. Honorable Thomas Fowler entry into Foya district with almost 15 to 20 armed military men. What was that all about? We need an explanation. Is it in it all geared towards intimidating our citizens, peaceful citizens? We want to know. Folks, one of your own is at the ballot box. And I'm speaking this directly to the people of Lofa. Before I go into the national issues of the country, you have on the ballot box Judge Manawia, the current president of Liberia, and you have on the ballot box one of your own, a son from Lofa County. The Gbani people, you call him your uncle. The Lama, that's your uncle too. The Kisi, he's a father. One of us. Whether you believe it or not, traditional politics in Liberia plays a role. If it doesn't play a role, then I'm wrong when the current vice president of Liberia, Joe Howard Taylor, told all the people in Bonn to vote the way the people to the southeast voted for George Weah. I have that video. That's my evidence. And it is against that I sit here to speak. If Joy Howard Taylor can tell the people of Bonn County to vote the way the people in the southeast voted their own, for their own, then I have the same audacity and the ability and the boldness to stand here and tell the people of Lofa County to vote for their own son, Joseph Nyuma Boakai. That is why I'm here. That's just one reason. Folks, put the politics aside. Lofa has been the breadbasket for Liberia. You know, Lofa could be a whole country by itself. But we chose not to. 176 years. Now one president has come. Now one son or daughter. You can show me for the children of Lofa County, for the sons that are going to school, children that are starting in kindergarten, to say one of our own has been the president of this country. Even though we are the #1 bread basket for Liberia, that has never happened in the history of Liberia. At this moment, in this moment, when all odds and everything is moving in favor of your own people, in your own household, presidency, legacy, honor has come to you, and you want to decline it, and you want to refuse that. What a shame. What a shame. Forget the politics. The young people that are sitting now over there, oh, the Costa, oh, the this and that, talking all nonsense. You guys, when we used to sit here to tell you guys what's going to happen, y'all didn't believe it, but now you see it. In America, people are higher on positions based on experience, and the time they spend doing that job that they apply for. When it comes to qualification, the resume, or whatever you call it, curriculum vitae or CV, Joseph Boakers wins. We're now looking at the two people, because he has left it, and you cannot point one area where you say Joseph Numa Boaker, out of 40 years in service to his country, has been corrupt. There's nothing you can show. That gives him the utmost #1 position. #1 position to becoming, right? If you were hiring, I run a company. I'm a businessman. I run a company. If I have an opening to employ someone, I am looking for someone who has the expertise, who has the technical know-how, who has been in the industry and has the experience. That's what I'm looking for. Not an amateur who I have to teach, who I have to nurture, who could probably cause more problems and trouble on the job. This is where I'm coming from, people. I want our Liberian people to know. But at the same time, I want the people, the many endorsements that the Unity Party, the opposition party is receiving, put them to work. Because why? The reason why I'm saying put them to work is the problem begins at the ballot box. The cheating starts at the ballot box, polling stations. Make sure the people that every polling station is covered. But the secret that I just showed tonight, based on the revelation, the secret information that just got leaked to me tonight, that I had to play on this podcast, should tell you that you have to do an extra. You have to go an extra mile. Because if you think you're sleeping, CDC is not sleeping. To unseat a sitting government is not an easy thing. You have to overwork yourself. Listen to this. This is a piece. I just play it. Those of you who are just joining me, you need to listen to this. This is happening in Nimba County. It's happening in Lofa. It's happening in Monserrado. All those most popular areas and places where the votes can be snatched. That is what NEC is doing. That is what the government of Liberia is doing. Going through the magistrates in all the various counties. The magistrates have been compromised with money But I want to speak to the conscience of the people. The money that you are accepting, that you are taking right now, I agree. How long can it go? You're taking that and accepting that over country, over the love of country. Who is a citizen? You and I went to school. We did civics. And there's always a question that the instructor will ask. What is civics? Civics is the study of good citizenship. Civics is the study of good citizenship. Who is a good citizen? One who works in the best interest of his country, not compromising. One who works in the best interest of his country. But if you take money and bag of rice over the best interest of the children that sells in the street, over the best interest of the dilapidating institutions that we have, over the best interest of poor medical health facilities, you are not being a good citizen. So, opposition, I'm only here to sound a message. Corruption is taking place. Voters at the ballot box right now, they are replacing individuals that have taken place, individuals that were involved in the gun election, working for the National Election Commission. Most of them, or some of them, are being replaced by magistrates in different counties, and they are employing and replacing those individuals with people who are working in the best interest of CDC. That is what's happening right now. And that is why I will not go to sleep without not sounding this alarm. Listen to this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just came from the bush, Honorable Flomo, because we are with him. We just came from the bush, from the district, of Brother County for United Party, because we touched United Party on Saturday. Yeah, one of my friends just called me. He working with NET. He's one of the key officials for NET.
Yeah.
He told me that CDC has sent 250 people in Lima for Mozzarella to teach most of us are working with them. Now the intention is when they checking the ballot paper after the voting, when they checking the ballot paper.
You don't even have to explain that to me. So what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
How can we authenticate it?
I don't know, because what we do now is you just call or call Jerry. Maybe you just check it out. You get TikTok show what they are doing. These things have not happened before. We cannot change, people from this place because the session to bomb, the session to
the people did the election. Wow.
At this time, and then they are members. Yeah, there are members that the session to tap it and all. To Born, to look for all the stronghold of United Party. And then they will wear
the election. You say how many people, VRO?
250.
250.
250 persons.
All right.
So the training will be on Saturday, Friday, or Saturday. That is for PU and VRO. So the break, so the foreign people, some of them are going now as we speak. They are sent some people in Tapatan. And then the next thing there is during the election time, they will wear certain clothes. All the citizens will wear certain clothes. Or someone have clothes that they will identify one another. So when people enter the hall, they will go straight to the ballot people, in fact, let's say the identification officer, and then they will go straight to the PO because they will give them money. They will go to the ballot people issue. The ballot people issue will give them what? 2 cards. Sometimes will be 3 or 4 ballot people to go mark. Yeah, so that's the whole plan that they have. And somebody, the person that B person, female, they say, I'm not calling you. But like, why they have some currently someone they signing to it, someone they on their way to.
I just wanted to play that a little bit because I can't play the entire piece because some B men and some B inside it, and some of them don't want to be identified. But because they are working in the best interest of Liberia, so most of them will leak some of this information to us. But our job here is to sound the alarm. So the Unity Party, Opposition Party, and the international community, even that of the EU and ECOWAS, and here America, will realize and pay a keen attention on the just coming election, because at the end of the day, not any one of us one war, because the people will rise up if they realize that their rights have been violated and stolen. It will happen. We don't want to see that. We have experienced 14 years of bloodbath in our country. Because someone wants to be in power, they will do whatever it takes to, to corrupt the system, to stay in power, even at the detriment of someone else's life. We are tired with that. And George Weah is not someone that is known for that. But the people he has surrounded himself with could push him to do that. Weah has been a peace ambassador. It will be very, very easy for George Weah to say, I'm done. Let me go in the US and go relax and be called a former president. But because the cronies surrounding him have forced him to not even say no. George Weah he's a fine man. He doesn't want bloodbath in that country. But the people will revolt. Because we always see this in African countries taking place. And we don't want this to happen for Liberia. Where the National Election Commission is compromised, the election magistrates are compromised, those who are manning the polling stations are compromised, and then those who would take upon themselves to go and exercise their inalienable rights at the polling station, their votes are compromised because someone is greedy. Someone got $1,000 or $2,000. You compromise that for the next 6 years. The question is simple. Do you like the Liberia you live in now? Do you foresee a better Liberia? If it is George Weah that you foresee that Liberia with, then vote for him. If it is not, and you see that better Liberia with Joseph Numa Boaka, then you vote. But at the end of the day, the sole responsibility for the National Election Commission is not to be compromised, but to protect that vote. For that individual, that Oma, that Pape, that coming from the village and walk and say, I want to vote for Joseph Numa Boaka, that person, that old man vote will count. Not for you to corrupt it. That's insincerity. Because you want to stay in power. Because of greed. Because of self-aggrandizement. That is it? No, we are better than that. We're a democratic country. If we live that and we exercise that, we could be that beacon of hope again. We could be that nation that can be restored in the Committee of Nations again. That all African countries will look back, look up to us again, that Liberia has joined. Liberia is now at the forward line where we can look up to them. That is what we need as a people. That is what we expect to do. But if you get down into the gutters, where you want to steal the votes, where you want to harness, where you want to corrupt, where you want to intimidate the people, the masses, and you call that democracy, and you call that election, then when the people rise up against that and you say they are enemies of the peace, they are enemies of the state, what's up with that, folks? What's up with that? What's up with that? We are better than that. We're a nation of laws and not of men. Liberia. Do you understand what Liberia means? Those of us who went to school in Liberia, labor. Labor means free. Free. When the people walk and spend time in the sun or in the rain to exercise their freedom, respect it as a government. Don't corrupt the system. This is happening in Lofa. This is happening in Nimba. It's happening in Bon. It's happening in Cape Mount. It's happening in Zedru. But that doesn't mean that we should give up, that we should not sound the alarm. Because we'll come right here and say, we said it, and y'all didn't listen. And it's exactly what they did. The National Election Commission is compromised. There's a dark cloud hanging over them. That doesn't mean that you should not go to the ballot box to vote. Guess what? If you go and vote the candidate that you want, the international community is watching. If they see a fit that sanctions will come upon those who are corrupting the system, sanctions will come. Because when the masses speak, when the people speak, the voice of the people is the voice of God. Don't hate me. Don't judge me. I'm just bringing a voice of reason. Not because I'm not talking in your favor, that you should take me to be your enemy. I'm your brother. I'm your uncle. I'm your father. Most of all, I'm a Liberian. Not because I'm now on your side, that I'm your enemy. Right? I am simply on the other side because I don't agree with your policies. I am simply on the other side because I don't agree with your governing, your ways of governing. That is all. It's okay for you to be on the other side, and it's okay for me to be on the other side. Ideologies are different. My ways and perspectives of seeing things are different. You don't have to see things the way I see. We can disagree to agree. I just don't agree the way you run government. I just don't agree with the way when people are killed indiscriminately or undercover and there is no results, no cases, no judgments comes out of that. I just don't agree with that. That is what makes me different from you. I just don't agree with intimidation. When people are exercising their inalienable rights, then you intimidate them. You don't do that. That is where I differ with you. I just don't agree with you running a government where you are not accountable. I just don't. I just don't agree with a government that is one-sided, meaning the money-making industries and ministries in government are all on the Southeast. They're all gone to the Southeast. Where is the rest of the country? I just don't agree with that. Folks, the greed for money is what's destroying our country. That's what's destroying also, my people. If a Liberian who is a citizen can go to protest, to voice their right, peaceful demonstration, to protest their grievances to the government, about a company that is stealing millions and millions of gold and diamond, Bear Mountain, out of Liberia. And the citizens who work for that company go to protest, and they are dehumanized. They are tortured. I just don't agree with your government, your ways of running your government. The evidence is here. I have that, and I'm about to play that. You can't do that in any good democratic government because that's a human right violation. And especially members, security members from the security apparatus of, that keep a close eye on you. You don't punish them. You don't say a word, and you watch them on live video torturing and killing another Liberian. Where is the justice system? How can we have companies, investors come into the country? Some of us that have connections with investors that want to come and develop, they watch all of this. How can they come? Because number one, the people are looking at the environment, the safety condition, the justice system, that if my workers or my equipment or my money is at stake, do I have a fair saying in the court of law? Watch this. This is what I'm talking about.
Point number one. For number one.
Oh, that's not it. This is it. It's coming up.
Watch this video. Like George Floyd in America, were crying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." This young guy from Grand Cape County was crying, "I want to speak, I want to speak." He and his friends had come to speak against Bear Mountain Company that operates in Grand Cape Mount. The company reportedly takes over 500 million worth of gold every year from Grand Cape Mount. But the people in Cape Mount live in extreme poverty. No safe drinking water. The company polluted their water. They took their land to mine gold, so they have limited means to go and do their farming. Bear Mountain has failed to provide what it promised them, including constructing clinics and providing safe drinking water. But the government just this week agreed to extend Bear Mountain operation in the county for additional 25 years, neglecting the complaint of the people, but not only attempting to kill their children who came to present their argument. The security officer you see stepping on this bald head that is oozing with blood is a member of George Weah Executive Protection Force. But we will take no action against this officer. The situation left with the people of Cape Mount. This is how George Weah Security treated your son when he came to speak about the millions of gold the government and Bear Mountain taking out of your county. Watch the video and see how your sons were treated only because they raised a legitimate concern about resources leaving from Grand Cape County and no benefit going to the people.
So do you see? This is what I'm talking about. At Talk TV Media Network, we present evidence. We just don't talk trash. We just don't talk stories here. We talk what is real. That is a citizen of Liberia, a protester, someone who doesn't agree. The resources of Grand Cape Mount have been embezzled and stolen in millions and millions of dollars. No, all the concessions signed for them to implement were not being implemented. And because someone stood to speak up for what they believe in, the injustices, and members of the security apparatus torturing him because they stood up with a sign in their hand to speak and protest. Folks, this is not us. We are better than that as a people, as a nation. And I tell people always, this is one thing I believe in. Stand up, even if you have to stand alone. Stand up for what is right, even if you have to stand alone. Justice doesn't come free. Freedom never comes free. There's always a price to pay. Always a price. And some of us are getting to the point where we are ready to pay the price by speaking the truth, by unveiling the secrets, the darkness that is going on in the country. You take my life, I'm gone. I'm in heaven. I'm a believer. That's it. What shall it profit a man? You know, that scripture. What shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? If I gain heaven, since I know exactly where I'm going anytime, any moment, and I'm on the right side of life by speaking the ills of society and championing the cause and the rights of the unprivileged, doing the right thing, and my soul within me is satisfied by doing the right thing. Nothing else will stop me. Elections. It's a two-man race. Someone is working in the dark to cheat. And they're doing everything possible. And that cheating can only take place at the ballot box. Opposition party. You have to do your homework. You have to have a resolve. You have to, with the wave of endorsements that we are seeing, you all should come together. Someone that I always call on this platform called the unknown soldier, which is the GDM political party, Appleton, the man who came number 3 in the just ended election, has endorsed the rescue train. I have my own takeaway with all of that stuff. Because that's why I try to tell the Unity Party, not everyone that's endorsing you right now, you should be comfortable with. Some of these guys are planted. Don't trust all of them all. That's just me. That's just my way of looking at things. Some of these people, they could be a mastermind. That's how CDC operates. That's a fact. This man came 3rd, Appleton. He took almost all the votes from the other everywhere. And that is why the Unity Party could not win the 50+1. And that Appleton has endorsed the Unity Party. But that Appleton has a very good connection, close connection with the CDC. At the same time, very close connection. When you go back, you look. That is why I tell people, be careful. Yes, these guys will come and endorse. These parties and collaborating, just be mindful. Just be on the watch. Don't relax. They could all be detractors. They all could be detractors. Not all, but most of them. That's just me. I'm not a politician, but I have my own way of looking at things. I'm always hesitant, always, on the alert, watching over my shoulders. That's it. So, Unity Party, I hope someone from the hierarchy of the Unity Party will hear this and, take heed, especially Chairman Tape or the old man himself, old man Buckeye. But the clip that you just listened to, that audio is true. That is happening in Nimba. It's happening in Lofa. And it's happening in Foya. Just to make sure that Joseph Newman Boakai lose votes in Foya. The magistrates that are assigned by the National Election Commission are replacing Unity Party NAPU observers, NAPU washers. I'm talking about national NEC workers, right? Because for you to be an NEC worker at a polling station, you have to be the one in charge of that polling station. You make the calls at that polling station. And so most of those people that they have realized that lean one way or the other on the side of the Unity Party, they are removing them off the roster. And all those that are in favor of the CDC are the one taking place now and being added on that roster. So those are the people that will be running those polling stations because they got their cateau. I just wanted to make that out there. That's what that audio is. So it's left with you guys. Howbeit, whoever wins, that person will be the next president of Liberia. That person will be my president as well. But guess what? Whatever the decisions they make will suffer y'all. Some of us, God has blessed us. We're in foreign land. But because we have the love of country, we have to fight for you because you are in the middle of it. If you fight, they want to come and hunt you and try to eliminate you or kill you. So we have to fight for you afar. That is it.
The people cry, oh. The people cry, oh. You better leave it. The people cry, oh. I can't risk again. The people cry, oh. The people suffering, oh. The people suffering, oh. You better leave it, oh. The people suffering, oh. The people suffering, oh. The country bleeding, oh. Amen. The country suffering, oh. Living, the people suffering, oh. The people suffering, oh. Getting the man's cry, oh, in her grave. Hey, Abba Yeshua cry, oh, in his grave. The people cry, oh, you better listen, the people cry, oh, Matthew Innes cry, oh, in his grave. The auditors cry, oh, in their grave. The people cry, oh, the people cry, oh, but they just want to cry, oh, in his grave. Princess Cooper cry.
Folks, before I take leave of you, I have to tell you this. Let me remove this off the screen. I had to take that pause. Because sometimes it makes me want to cry. I guess because the love of country. Many of you who know this story of the 6 auditors, many of you who know the story of the 3 children at St. Moses. Many of you who have been to Liberia and you're walking either even during the day or at night, you are hesitant and you're looking over your shoulders. Who could snatch your cell phone or who could attack you? All of that insecurity. Many of you who had to build houses and reinforce those houses with iron bars, what we call zogo wire, to your windows. It almost looks like you're living in your house and you in a cell. Liberia was, once upon a time, Liberia was never like that. Many of us that grew up in Liberia, where anybody who is quote unquote, who has a little position or judge or government official, running the lane in the opposite lane, as long as they have a siren on their car, whoa. They don't obey rules and regulations. They just run in every direction. That is not the Liberia we grew up in. That is not the Liberia we anticipate. That is not the Liberia we want to see. Lawlessness has been the order of the day. Many of us know when you confront someone who has some sort of or whatever issue in traffic, even the police will pull you over. Instead of dealing with the police, you say, "Do you know who I am?" And then you on the phone and you calling someone who works in a hierarchy, in a higher authority, or 101, or someone in the police, director or somewhere. All of that is geared towards the destruction of rules. A normal society, that is not what we want. If I am driving here and I'm pulled over by a police, a cop, I don't call the mayor of the city. I don't call whoever. I respond to them because they are the authority. The police is the authority. They give me a ticket, I go and argue my case in court and pay for it, whatever the fines are. Simple. Isn't that the kind of society we want, where you feel fair justice is rendered to everyone? Don't you want a society, a government where when you go to the ATM, they are not charging you $5 US for every $200 that you withdraw out of the bank, out of the ATM? And sometimes you go to the ATM, there's no money at all. Even though you know you deposited your money, you have it in the account or in the bank. Now, I'm talking real issues that our people are living. You deposit or you transfer your money here into into a bank or UBA or whatever bank in Liberia. You go to the ATM, you cannot withdraw your money. If you have the opportunity of withdrawing it in the account, you are only limited or restricted to withdrawing $200 per transaction. And every transaction, you are being charged $5 or $6 US per transaction. Imagine you want $1,000 out of your account. You do the math. $200, $5. $200, $5. By the time you are done withdrawing $1,000 out of your account, your own personal money you deposited, you have already spent $25 US for withdrawing your own money. And we see people like the Minister of Finance, Samuel Twe, talking about a school car, boasting about the economy. The economy will speak for itself. If the scorecard is doing so well, it will translate itself in the street, in the communities where the people are living. The majority and respectable individuals in Liberia have not turned into beggars. because almost everyone has turned into beggars in Liberia. So when you want to boast about a scorecard or blah, blah, whatever you call it, you take 2 hours just to talk about it. You compare that with the real life in the street. People not having food, with the skyrocketing of prices of commodities and products. The exchange rate is so high. It should conform to the reality. Is if the people are feeling good in their stomach, there's food, there's plenty, there's surplus, the scorecard will speak for itself. You sit down and waste 2 hours solid to talk on national media and other platforms. It's just preposterous. Why? Because you're so eloquent, or because you want to speak, or because no, you are only being persuasive to those who do not understand the reality of what's happening. Samentoi, that's for you. The people are dying. Opongo. That's what the song say. Just let it go for Mama Liberia. Yeah. Look at this.
I don't want peace. I want problems always. God have mercy upon us.
Don't run! Put it there! Don't run!
I don't want peace. I want problems always. God have mercy upon us.
Don't run! Put it there! Don't run!
I don't want peace. I want problems always. God have mercy upon us.
Why you not voting?
I'm not voting, my man. I'm not voting again.
Okay.
What all the thing there for? You see the kind of vote get it, papi? Nima, Green Gile. See the kind of vote get it, man.
He shot you.
Bapuru. Yeah, no. I'm voting again.
You not realize the vote. At the end of the day, they say Grand Gile, the also is. They say we get no 4,000 or 5,000.
I'm voting again. But you think it will be better when it comes to election commission that it be voted?
Yeah, they vote. They appointment. They want to take side with the president. I put that there.
It will be fun. We vote for them because once we vote for them, they will be for the people. They will not be for president.
No, but you have to vote.
I'm voting.
So if you're a coach now, you carry your team. After 90 minutes, people say, okay, you're 10 minutes, you tell all the players, then say, we're not playing against your goal. And they will be already, they be automatically against you. Let me tell you, my brother, Gento.
Okay.
And now you're one saying you're not voting again for the second round or they run the election. Now you're one saying no. Yeah, so Lord change the attitude. All those people that voted for JMB, you go back, we backing you.
Okay.
You go vote again. That the last one, yeah, that the last year, when did it go last that year? If you not vote, that push, you're not when it will come back again.
Yes.
If you not vote, all the thought they will start leaving your vote again.
Yes.
If you now vote,
Yes.
your whole future is finished.
Continue.
Then the JMB Bene and Jeremiah Kum, you're dying for. Beg a leader. Go vote. Go vote. My man, everybody won't go vote. Everybody will go vote. Go vote.
Okay.
Oh, but well, you don't know that not percent again between the two people. Oh, no percent again. That man I told I will vote from Nima where he say Gonglo. Gonglo get support. Gonglo get me support.
Kumis too?
Kumi I love Kumi with my heart, man. Kumi say how you vote against or contest against ruling party and go.
Bring your money or eat it because they'll be bringing money to divide. But anybody that will bring money to divide, they're not in your interest tomorrow. They will say, I pay for that food. Ain't you not here before? Yeah. So they bring their money here, you eat it. That free money, that stolen money. Because nothing you work hard for, you just take and divide it like that. You own the money, go get divide. That money, what you work for? A person should not be bribing people for vote. You should come and talk to your citizens. Explain to them what you would like to do and then ask them for the food. If they can't bribe you, tomorrow you will not see you. But the man used to come.
When you work hard for your money, when you spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, or you run your own business where you spend 24/7, you are nurturing that baby to grow. You can't just spend money or waste money around. So the people that are spending money and wasting it around, they didn't work for it. It is not their money. The Vice President Joy Howard Taylor just said that, folks. And she's right. No one who ever worked for money and know the value of working and spend hours working for it would just sit around and get their pay or that money and ditch it around and just waste it and spend it and take it. Have it all. No one in their sound mind does that. She's right. So as these government officials who have the vault, who have access to the vault, finance ministry, they have the money. They come around to buy a vote. We just watched today. Finance Minister Samuel Toy stopped briefly at G.W. Gibson to run campaign, telling the children he's going to feed them for 3 days. And the children have to stone him and ran him out of there. Tell me. So after the 3 days, that is an insult. Complete insult. And I'm so glad that these kids, these young people understand that already. That they have a full understanding. So after 3 days of feeding them, they gave you the vote. Then 6 years, you're living your lavish life. You're stealing in the coffers of the nation. You're doing what you want to do. Folks, is this the Liberia that we yearn for? Is this the Liberia that we want? Is this the prosperity Liberia that we want? Before I take leave of you tonight, let's pray for the nation of Liberia. God is the one who chooses leaders. But God, the same God, always gives us the choice to choose who we want. He said, choose ye this day whom you will serve, Satan or God. But at the end of it, God always tells you who he wants you to choose. He always puts you on the right path. He said, life and death. Choose life. Now, after he tells you what to choose, he leaves you with that ability so you can exercise that ability, so you can implement it yourself. That is what God is doing with the nation of Liberia right now. God has come through so many people, and it is so evident who should take the nation of Liberia into prosperity, into the Canaan land, into the promised land. Now it is left with the Liberian people to accept that, to go to the ballot box and exercise that freedom. If they don't, and we do like Israel did in the days of old, so be it. We live with the consequences because that is God's principle. Whatever you do has consequences, good or bad. When you do bad, you have bad consequences. When you do good, you have good consequences. That is the same thing. Folks, that is the last word I have to leave with you. I am not an enemy to the state. I love Liberia. Liberia is all we all have as a nation. George Weah is the son of Liberia. Joseph Nyuma Bwaka is the son of Liberia. I love all of them both. I just don't believe in the principles and ideologies of one person. I can tell who is going to be a better leader. I can tell who's going to take care of Kush and kick Kush out of Liberia and drugs out of Liberia and strive hard to get the children of Liberia on path for a better future. And I hope you do too. So until then, I will join you in another episode. Do the right thing for the nation of Liberia because the nation is bleeding and the nation depends on your decision. November 14th, next week, Tuesday. Energize your friends, your colleagues, your family members. Push them out to go and vote because the decision they make is ultimate, is key. Very, 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 very important. We must build Liberia. We must love Liberia. That is what we ought to do as a nation. That's it, folks. We must think about Liberia. We must love Liberia. And we must build Liberia, irrespective of the enemy's hands over the nation of Liberia. We're getting there. Thank you.
Drugs and brain drain. Rescue. and corruption. Rescue. From drugs and brain drain. Rescue. From poverty and hunger. Rescue. From incompetence and failure. Let's rescue this land. Liberian for Baka is on board to rescue this nation. Rescue. From crimes and corruption. Rescue. From drugs and brain drain. Rescue. From poverty and hunger. Rescue. From incompetence and failure. Let's rescue this land. Fellow Liberians, the rescue train is moving with the captain, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Numa Walker. Rescue 1. Co-captain, Senator Jeremiah Pankun. Rescue 2. And not forgetting the rescue mother, Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence. Boss it there. Hiya, yeah. Now, fellow citizens, come on board the rescue train. No fighting. Single fat, single fat, single fat, single fat, single fat, single fat. JMB and JKK all the way. And it is rescue time. I will now ask you what time it is. And you will respond. Oh, what time it is now? It is rescue time. What time is it? Oh, it is rescue time. What time is it? It is rescue time. What time is it? Oh, it is rescue time. What time is it? It is rescue time. What time is it? Oh, it is rescue time. What time is it now? It is rescue time. Sorado, what time is it now? It is rescue time. Agidi, what time is it now? It is rescue time. Onkante, what time is it now? It is rescue time. Lofa Kante, what time is it now? It is rescue time. Timba, what time is it now? It is rescue time. Ambassa, what time?
To the man talking beside me. You know, he can't keep quiet 1 minute himself. And then when I put a camera on him, he will not say nothing. I can guarantee. This is Carol Ann from Canada. Good morning, Liberia. I got surprise for you today, but he already messed up. Now my big brother got it. Oh, look at here. Look at here. And you see him?
Whatsoever we come and do, let we start.
I'll be after him for days now. Come on now, I'm talking to Liberian people. Okay, so whatsoever we do, we be sorry. Okay, we'll get out of the car, we will go somewhere, and we'll come back to you now. Okay, now we have reached the park place where we are going to walk about. Anyway, let me turn this camera around now so you can see my brother, because he's the one for today.
Hey.
Okay, so here we're back, both of us on the same side of the camera now. The thing I wanted to say when I first started doing these videos, it was so hard on me because I said, what? Who am I to be talking to Liberian English, singing Bassa song? I don't know Bassa self. All of y'all know that now. Anyway, my... you lie. It's very hard. So, okay, so you want me say something?
Well, you're hello.
I meant in Bassa.
Be moyo, be moyo. I said be wo yadi, body wo yai. They can't hear me.
Oh, they can hear you for sure.
I can't hear them.
No, that's the problem, you see. Carry on more. Let's have more.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to say. I was in Liberia as a teacher from 1980 to 1990.
Yeah.
And then I came to the States. A lot of my Liberian friends left the country about that same time. You probably know all about that.
Yeah.
And then I taught school. I continued to be an educator here in the States, teaching math and science mostly. in Christian schools for like 20 plus more years, and now I'm kind of old and retired.
Oh, well, you want to be brother? You can't be old yet.
Nazon, pranyon tabla pues c'est sonho.
Oh,
the wheel 72 ke. Yeah.
Well, how do you?
It's time for me to sit down.
It's time for you to sit down for true. Okay, that's good for this part. We will get something more once we get out there and try to get set up looking for a boy or something. He's standing there